Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to my job shop. My name is Keith, and I'm here repairing America one project at a time. All right, now this is Sunday. This is casual Sunday. I'm out of my blues. I am in blue, but I'm not wearing my work shirt today. So if you come in on Saturday and Sunday, you can take Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday off. Hey, when you work for yourself, right? Last night, while I was waiting for my video editing for part one to do some render testing in my program there, I came out to the shop and I went ahead and I put one of our ball joints into the forge jaw after I cleaned up all my chips and everything else that are down in here, so we can regroup on this. So I'm out here and I indicated this. Oh, I must be way off. The zero's over here. I get funnier on Sunday. All right. Lots of times you hear the thing, is that close enough? Am I close enough? How about answering or asking yourself, how can I get it closer? All right. Now, I did get this as close as possible. Now you can see the needles like jumping around. Okay, is that the tension or the surface condition against the indicator tip and how far I'm reaching out from here to who knows what all of that is. The question I have is, if we put a little dab of oil on here and we roll the ball around here, we make sure we got everything all oiled up here, does that make it any smoother? No, it doesn't. All right, but I'm going to consider that to be close enough to perform my machine work and match up the second cut to the first cut on the ball. I don't know. I think you should perform and shoot for the tolerances that you're not ashamed of, or that you can share with a coworker or another human being. All right. So anyhow, just a little bit of talk about workmanship expectations, and I think I just get tired of hearing, is that close enough, or can I get away with that? Okay, let's bring the stylus into the pattern bar, and you can see that we're pretty close right here. And I'm just, because we're trying to locate our pattern in there so that we can come around to this side of the ball here. So let's go over to that side and fit up the pattern. Okay, I shut down the phase converter and the tracer attachment just so we had a little less noise over here. And I'm gonna have to get my stool here. All right, I got you looking in from the end of the lathe again so that you can see the stylus here. Now there's, let's see here. I'm gonna put this in. We were bolted in. Let's see here. Yeah, we were bolted in about like that the last time. Now this is where the stylus is in relationship to the part up there in the chuck. Now there's a tapped hole there, there's a tapped hole there, and there's one tap back here. And we can slide this whole rig along the bed towards the tailstock. We're as far to the headstock as we can, so we can't just roll this thing back. Now this is the holding bolt that I just have there. Now I could, excuse me, we gotta put it in here, something like this. Okay, and I'm about a ½ inch away from that hole right there. So I know that I couldn't I couldn't put it in that hole and ask this thing to come back and adjust it that way because we're out of travel this way here. So I'm gonna bring it back to this bolt area right here. This radius is gonna work for us to continue that wrap around, and then this little radius and cut out here will make sure that we're not ever going to fall off the back side there. All right, so what I'm going to do now is lightly tension this, and I'm going to rough set the bar back an inch. Oh, it looks like about 1.25 inches or so, and then once I have it in that position there, I can take the threaded adjustments for the two centers on my jig here to fine tune this surface in relationship to this and the part up there. We still have to face the part off about 100 thousandths or a little bit less than that. And then after that, then we're going to have a starting point, and it's going to be the same on every one of them because I've got that held into the forejaw and up against the shoulder. So that's my thinking. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to adjust this on over and get you all set up, ready to go. We moved our jig bar back there and mounted up our gauge down here. And we're set up here with a facing tool. So we're going to face this off to a certain length from the chuck. And then we'll bring in the tracer attachment and start working that ball into position on the first one, and then after that we should have it set, and then we can slap each one of the ones right in after this. After we dial it in, we should be able to cut them all. Okay, yeah, we almost took a little bit off on that, and I think that's going to be our, we're going to call that 0 run right there. All right. Okay, let's bring in our tracer. Oh, we got to reverse, we're going to reverse our speeds and our feeds so that we're all set on that. Okay. All right. We brought this in real close right there. Okay, so that's just touching the pattern down there. We're going to run it and we're going to crank it in, and we need to be touching this first space here or just off of it. We are like just so off of it here, and I just fed that by hand. Okay, we're gonna crank it in a little bit, and we're just gonna ease onto this here. Now, we know that there's a slight flat here, so the actual radius is actually going to be before it touches. So we might actually want to jack this back out slightly. We're going to come in a little bit more before we make a decision here. Okay, we adjusted our rail out a little bit, but we also stopped and we pulled the back cover on there. We had a little issue with the main pulley, but we got that resolved. The brake sounds a lot better now too. All right. It starts out a little bit farther, and then it should be taking a little bit more off the OD diameter. Now we're going to just follow that up around for right now. We're going to see about where we're at. Getting close. And also too, this width right here is about almost down to 3/4. This flat on the face here was about 3/4, which is the width of the scale. So just a little bit there, and we're just starting to come up to this diameter. We're just going to sneak up on it now. I'm just going to take 10 at a time here. I'm going to measure that diameter, and then I'm going to measure across this way right here. Okay, when I mic it this way here, we know that that's 1/750. That was the size of our bar. All right. And then we mic it this way, and we're 1/755. Now we know that we have to take this diameter down. We know that this is supposed to be about 1704, and this diameter difference is about 25 thousandths on the radius. So let's just sneak up a little bit more on it, and we'll see where we're at. Take another 10. All right, now we're just going to cross mic it like this. We know that diameter is what we really want to end up with. Okay, so there's like 722 there. And there's 735. So straight in, we got like 35 over, and this way here, we're just a little bit more. So we're going to take another, that means we can sneak up on it, and when we get close to this diameter, then we'll be able to just change our travel this way, which will make the ball round. That's what I'm trying to do, is get there close enough for that. Okay, we're going to come in. We're going to come in 5 at a time now. Okay, 725. It should be about 715. Okay, 715 and a half. All right, where are we at here? We're still bigger. That's the main thing. It's like 35. So after we come down to this diameter, then we're going to start feeding in a little bit. And we're just going to put the indicator down on our bar, and we'll start sliding that towards the chuck. Okay. This should bring us down to 705. .708. What are we over here on this side here? About 704. All right, before we go in any more, I think I'm going to start feeding it in this way here. All right, we're going to mic the ball in this direction. That's 733, we're going to call it. All right, let's go ahead and adjust our bar in. I found an angle. I had one out there in the weld shop there where I bolted down to the table. So I made sure that that was square with this, just for make sure that we're not going to have an angle or a dangle that's going to interfere with our direct measurement of going in on our cut. Each end of this bar has got 2 centers, and they screw together, and all we're doing is adjusting the screws towards the chuck. So I'm going to loosen up on this one. There's 5, and I'm going to tighten on this one here. There's 10. I know that we need to at least make that come in that amount. All right. All right, I had the 0 here. I'll go back the other way because it doesn't matter. There's the hat, you know, there's 5 and there's 5. There's a little bit of spring tension here. So there I go. I loosen and I tighten. I still get 10. All I did was move that in 10. I'm going to leave my indicator right here on this setup here so I can make a cut and then come back and check it. Or add to this until I get the location that I absolutely need. And then each one, if we have to vary between each one of our parts, we'll be able to adjust it with this increment of detection here for our radius. Okay, here comes our first test. Okay, now we're measuring this distance here, and look at that, we came in. Okay, there's 729. And we're still a couple thousandths heavy there. Okay, all measurements show us we still need to go in. So we're gonna make another adjustment until we get it to flow in there just right. All right, we set another 10. Okay, we're under 724 now. We're heading in the right direction. I backed out about a thou or so on the diameter cut, and then I just advanced it a couple on the face cut. We're going to do that same thing again. I am really liking that. Okay, these feel good on here as well. Okay, I just took a little bit off the face right here, and I'm comparing it with this against the jaws and this flat here, and we're right on the money right there. All right, we completed all of our ball joints, and we have the short shanked one and the long shanked one. Basically, the difference is this distance here. So when I threaded the end down, I just threaded two different depths of thread, and then I cut this one off a little shorter, and I even dressed it off on a face, and I put another center drill because it was easier to run all four of them at the longer length and then just make that modification. Our fit for the ball feels good in there. All of our diameters are way closer than what he has been running. The castle nuts, I had to take a 1/4 inch off the face, and I had to make the groove a little bit deeper just to match what he had on his old ones there. I think we're a wrap on that project. Okay, I think that we're going to call it on the video here. In the comments on the last video, I heard, hey, when you getting back on Pearl? And we will be getting back on Pearl. The workload for the busy season is my heaviest time, and also I wanted to take and get a few things under my belt as far as my new ventures in the 3D printing, and also lost wax casting, investment castings, and all of that all come into play with some of the items I'm making on Pearl. So I'll be getting back on Pearl because basically I want to get this going, and then we're going to start having videos there. And on the lathe giveaway, I will be letting you know who's and where that's going to be going, and we'll talk about helping me get it shipped where it needs to go. All right. Until the next video, get her done.